Shalom, it's the brother Tazza Bashar. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, double honors to the elder apostles of GMS for teaching us this truth. Peace and salutations to the elect out there. It's pushing His word, it's sincerity and the truth. Salakia if it's a bumpy ride or whatever. I'm sitting in my job's van and driving through Rotterdam, which is a fucking crowded city with the bullshit ass traffic. So but you know, it's an early morning, and you know, every now and then I come with a quick thought video. So again, now some quick thoughts, you know, and I'm not able to grab scriptures. So you know, y'all can find the scriptures with me roughly paraphrasing these scriptures. So yeah, what I want to go into is that the reason the Most High sets up fallouts, or guys that are bound to fall out, you know, because from a carnal perspective, you might look at it like it doesn't make sense. This guy was making videos, this guy was going hard, but now all of a sudden he just drops out and he fell out, man. You know, he just drops out and he fell out, and you know, he's not interested in the truth anymore. Even though this man was going hard with making videos and pushing the word, and now all of a sudden, you know, he's out, man. He's not in the spirit no more. You know, he doesn't believe anymore, or whatever the case is. So you might look at it and you might be like, yeah, why would the Most High do such a thing? Well, the Most High has a purpose for everything, man. And for every guy, you know, the Most High gives His word to. He has a purpose to it. You know, giving an example, in Exodus and in Romans chapter 9, you can see that the Most High raised up Egypt to show His power in it, to show His power to His people. So Egypt was an example. Egypt was an example of a city that got destroyed, or a whole civilization that got destroyed by the power of Yahweh Ba'asham Shai. The Most High wanted to show His power in this city, man, or in this civilization, because our people grew up in it, and then eventually they saw it grow up. The only reason that it grew up and that it became so big was because Israel was in it, man. Israel was in Egypt, and the Most High wanted to show His power within, wanted to show His power to the people, the descendants of Jacob, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So the Most High raised up Egypt, made it big, made it prosperous, so that the Israelites would look at this civilization like, whoa, this is a big civilization. It has everything, you know, it can fight everything that stands before him. And then the Most High broke it down to pieces, showed His people that He is the power and He rules in this world, man. You know, so to take off the mind of the people from this Egypt nonsense and show the power of the Most High, man. So that's an example. The Most High sets up examples, and the Most High shows you certain things through certain people. So you got fallouts that they, you know, you might think that, you know, that they came in the truth was basically in vain. And if you think carnal, I understand what you mean, but in a spiritual way, you have to understand the Most High has a purpose for everything. you know. So there are guys that been teaching the truth for like 3 years and then they fall out. But in those 3 years, they did make videos and they did edify people. And people did come into the truth because of them. And certain guys are raised up in this truth only to bring in certain other guys. You know, for example, they grew up with two guys. They grew up with 2 guys, and now he comes into the truth. Boom, he links the truth to these guys that he grew up with. Now these guys come in the truth, and his ass is kicked out. That already shows you the purpose that the Most High had for this man. You know, come in the truth, teach the word, and bring in these other guys, man. If you read in Sirach, I'm gonna roughly paraphrase it like I said. Pride is when one departed from the Most High. You know, the Most High taketh away the seat of the proud princes and setteth the meek up in their stead. So the Most High can take away your seat and raise up the meek in their stead, man. You know, and I've seen this multiple times, man. As soon as someone gets proud, as soon as one gets puffed up, you know, his ass is out of there, man. You know, but the deeper understanding and the deeper reason, hey, the Most High has his ways, man, and the Most High has his purposes. So when a guy falls out, he did certain things, and his how you say that? His work is no longer needed. Just like when you go to Esau, his work for Esau, you know, they tell you like, hey, your work is no longer required. We have no need of you no more. You know? And most of the time, guys like that don't want to push the word. Hey, the Most High don't need you, man. The Most High don't need you. The Most High can raise up stones to make them worship him. And that doesn't mean that stones are gonna stand up and worship him. No. How did the Most High create Adam? From the dust, man. So the Most High can create man from stones and make them worship him. So you are not needed. You know? But these guys that are proud, these guys that they think that, you know, without them the body or the camp is nothing. They know the most scriptures, you know, they are needed. You are not needed, my man. You know? And like I said, the Most High has a purpose for you. And if your purpose is only to bring in certain other guys, if your purpose was only to make one video and with that video comfort someone else, and then your ass is out of there, then that's your lot, man. You know, your work was only required for a certain amount of time. So the scriptures say, better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. So it doesn't matter how on fire you was in the beginning. If you are not able to finish your course, then it doesn't mean anything, man. It doesn't matter how generous and how free giving you was, how much tithes you paid, how much charity you had towards the brothers, because all that money you spend on brothers and all that charity that you gave and you had towards brothers is all vain, man. You know, because when you have charity towards a brother, you are basically building up a spiritual bank account. When you out there in the highways and byways, you're building up a spiritual bank account, because you working for the gold in the kingdom, which is incorruptible. You know, so what I'm saying is, when you was doing these things, when you was giving charity and pushing the work, pushing the word, Salakia, you was building up that spiritual bank account. But if at the end you still fall off, that spiritual bank account drops together with you, man. It's like when you have a bank account, a literal bank account in this world, and you you have a lot of money on it. You've been saving up money for years. Now, what happens? The bank goes bankrupt. Hey, the bank goes bankrupt. You know, the bank is no more. You can't find this bank nowhere. This company is over with. Your bank account is over with too, my man. Your bank account is nowhere to be found, meaning your money is nowhere to be found. So that's what happens with all that free giving and all the charity that you pushed in, you know, when you was doing the work, man. Your spiritual bank account is done. It's over. You know, so the Most High has his purposes for certain men. Like I said, to comfort certain brothers with a video, or push certain brothers to go and start making videos, you know, because that's a part of this truth, man. To comfort Akyam and to basically push them through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai to get out there, man, and to push this word, you know, to do the work for Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. You know, so you might think, to go back to or to basically go to the conclusion, you might think that the work that Fallout has put in was all in vain, and that the Most High basically brought him in the truth for nothing. That's not true. The Most High had his dealings with him, and when basically his work was no longer required, his ass was out, man. You know, because the scripture in Matthew says, scripture in Matthew says, the work is plenteous, but the laborers are few. Something to that effect. I know it has more to do with the field, but I forgot the word about it, the word concerning that. But the work is plenteous, but the laborers are few. So there's enough to do, but there are not much laborers, because eventually, you know, people that are gonna continue in this truth are not gonna be a lot of people, man. You know, it's gonna be 144,000, and you might be like having your head down, like, hey, it's gonna take a long time, because hey, I don't see that many people being in the truth and teaching the right doctrine. Listen, man, in the time of Acts, you had like 7,000 people waking up in one day, man, at the same time. The Most High can do that, man. Can do that with no problem, man. As these prophecies are coming to pass, we are entering into these days, man, that people are gonna wake up 7,000, 8,000 at a day, man. You know. So, like I said, to everyone there's a purpose, and to every person, whether he falls out or he stays in the truth, there is a dealing with him. That's why everyone has his talents. And a guy that fell out or falls out, his talents are gonna be given to the guy that has the most talents, man. So the knowledge that he had and the knowledge that he studied for, it will not go in vain, man. The Most High will literally take away the knowledge that he has and put it upon another brother, man. And we had that in the camp too, man. We've seen that, man. There was a guy, he was very deep into Daniel and Revelation. Now someone else all of a sudden is deep into Daniel and Revelation, you know, without really realizing what actually happened, man. That's the transition of the spirit, man. That's the transition of the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Those talents will not go in vain, man. They will not just vaporize in the air and you know, the camp is now without that knowledge. No, the Most High will hand it to someone else. If you don't want to do nothing with it, then your ass is out, man. and your talents are given to someone else. So yeah, the point I'm making, you know, again, to come back, you know, it's just, hey, my thoughts was going, hey, early in the morning, as soon as I woke up, my thoughts was upon this topic, man. You know, it's not for nothing that certain guys are set up, man. Just like how Egypt was set up, it was not for nothing. Because you might look at Egypt like, so the Most High is raising up this whole civilization only to break it down. Yes, only for that purpose. And that's the same with guys out there that come in the truth and that fall out. The only reason you came in the truth was to comfort a brother, maybe with one video. The only reason you came into truth was to bring in these other guys. The only reason you came into this truth was to set up the camp. Then your ass is kicked out, and the other brothers, the real brothers, take over that camp and govern it and build it and finish the work, man. You know, so there are hey, our mind is not like the mind of the Most High, man. But the Most High has a purpose for everything. So don't think that it was for nothing. You know, his ass is out of there, but the works he did through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai is still out there, man. So with that, I want to say shalom.